What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to get done the Gofannon Forge on Nessus. Now the nice thing about this is there's a good chance that you will be a slightly higher light level than you were at the EDZ, and you're going to need that though because this has a bit more challenge to it when it comes to the mechanics and when it comes to the layout. Real quick though, I'm using my Titan, I'm using Sleeper Simulant, and I'm using a Kilo Shotgun. For my primary, I'm using the Chattering Bone with a boss spec on it. So if you have those, awesome. There's other weapons you can use too, but I like these because they are a bit more user-friendly. Now for this map here on Nessus, it is a lot more wide open than the map in the EDZ, so there may be quite a bit more run and gun to this forge, but a lot of the same mechanics apply. There's 3 waves. The first 2, you have to ignite the forge by throwing 20 batteries into it, and you get the batteries by taking down the blue aura enemies. Difference this time though is you're facing the Fallen, and the Fallen do tend to be a bit easier to beat down than the Cabal, so you do have that going for you as well. Time-wise here, honestly guys, for the Forge, you shouldn't have much issue with the timing for this because there is a lot of enemies that come in, and they are a bit easier to take down than the Cabal. For the first wave, you can see here we are dealing with a few different types of enemies. You have your dregs, you have that captain you just saw, and you also too have the exploding shanks. So this wave isn't too difficult, but the second wave does have quite a bit more challenging enemies, as well as a slightly different mechanic too, but we'll go into that once we get to it. Let's clear wave 1 first. Just like before though guys, I do recommend always for this, make sure that you rally to a public event flag before you do it, just so you have full heavy. There's a big difference between having 13 sleeper shots versus only having 5 or 6. That's a lot of damage. It's a potential of upwards of 1 million damage there, depending on if you hit your precision shots and melting points and other modifiers. But make sure you're always rallied to the flag before you attempt this. It will make your life a lot easier once you get to wave 3. Enough talking though. I gotta make sure I'm helping out Gummy and Def C, who are helping me out with this video. So definitely a big shout out to those guys. Appreciate their help. Alright, so we are at 15 out of 20. No danger whatsoever when it comes to the time here, so I think in this case here I'll be a bit more cautious and not use my kilos ammo. I want to try to conserve that if I can, and when you have a bit of extra time you can do that. I think, like I mentioned before, there's a strong chance that you'll be a slightly higher light level than you were for the Volundr Forge, so that should make things a lot more manageable too. So we got done wave 1, and now we are doing wave 2. Wave 2, the stakes are up to a bit. You have some more challenging enemies, and you also have some more challenging mechanics. And you'll see what I mean because of these guys, the Overcharged Shanks. Now, you may recall them from the strike here on Nessus, the one that was out of the rotation for quite some time. That does make things a lot more challenging because it prevents you from jumping, it hurts your sprint, and just makes things a bit more of a hassle to begin with. So try to avoid those if you can. You don't necessarily have to kill those guys, but sometimes you may have to just to clear a path. They're not the only new enemies. You just see the heavy shank there as well. They have a lot of health, so you may want to save your grenades, save your melting point, your high power attacks for those guys. The Escalation Protocol shotgun does a lot of damage against them, which is good. And you want to make sure you take them out quickly because they do drop 2 batteries. The other enemy we have here too is right in front of me. It's a Tracer Shank. They drop batteries as well, and they do a lot of damage too, so you want to make sure you take them out just to keep the progress going when it comes to the batteries, but also too because they do a lot of damage. Thanks Gummy for taking that guy down. So right now we're at 11 out of 20. Not much of a danger here when it comes to the time. You know, and this is where I think, unlike in EDZ, where I know people pointed out the cave strategy is really good, I think for this map here, there really isn't any safe spots to be in. This more lends to a run and gun approach. There we go. I was looking for another guy. Alright, so we'll take him out, and you might want to have better aim with your melting point than I did there, but no big deal. There is some spots that are somewhat safer. I think one spot that may be worth looking at is the spot right over here. you only have really one spot where enemies come out, and that's back in this door. But the nice part about this area is the enemies will come over to you here. So if you're a lower light and you're having trouble running gunning, this might be a decent spot to make your final stand on, at least for the wave 2. Wave 1, I think you can get by running gun. So just going to get these last couple batteries here. We're doing okay as far as time. We have plenty of time, so no need to rush it. I think in this case here, you may want to, if you don't have full heavy ammo for whatever reason, this might be a time when you want to take some enemies down just to try to get some ammo drops. But there's 20 out of 20. And now we're on wave 3, and that's the Servitor boss. Now, the Servitor boss has some interesting mechanics to it. It has the same mechanics that you see in the public events, where the Servitor can have the Servitor's Grasp, and that will send you flying across the map somewhere. It will randomly teleport you. So that is going to happen to you. There's no way of avoiding it. You just want to make sure you're trying your best to reassess where you're at as far as the map layout. And here, I should have probably been in the well before that. That was my fault, but you guys will be better players than I am, so that's fine. And we'll just make sure we get as many critical shots here as we can. Just like for the EDZ, that's a bad grenade throw. Just like for EDZ, though, you want to make sure you're getting consistent damage on him so that his little force field does not come back. And I'm not quite sure where I am here. There he is. And I think you could probably tell the difference of having 13 sleeper shots. I know I just picked up some ammo right there, but where is he at? Oh, sorry. Yeah, having full heavy ammo makes a world of difference. So take the extra time. Make sure you're routing to the flag if you can. It's just going to make your life a lot easier. And there he is. And in fact, I didn't even use my super. That was my fault. But obviously there we had plenty of time. I think we had 45 seconds to go. So this challenge, I think in some ways it does lend more to that run and gun style. I did show you guys really quick over here. This is a somewhat safe spot, but even still not quite to the degree that you saw in the Volundr Forge. The nice thing you have going for you, you're going to be a higher light. You're going to be going up against enemies that don't have the same annoyance that the Cabal do. Let me make sure I grab the stuff here from the chest. Don't want to miss that. But I think you should have a bit more of a manageable time with this forge. So let me know in the comments what your strategy is. I'm always curious to see what other people do when it comes to their strategy, what weapons they use. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful. Most importantly, guys, thanks for watching, and big shout out to Gummy and Def C for helping me out, guys. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.